Hi, everybody. Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. For most of you, you know that for the last year or so, this bi-weekly time slot was taken up by the Sunday Superman show, which was a show about all things Superman, whether it was movies, news, TV shows, mostly comic books. I mean, face it, we're all comic book fans. That's why we came here for a while. But after about a year and a half, it got to the point where I was thinking we were not showing enough different things. After a discussion with a good friend of the channel, Stephen Gentner, where I sat down and I was bouncing ideas off him, both of us thought it would be a good idea if we expanded the show to include all superheroes. Now, this is not a show for Conan type heroes. That is sword and sorcery. That's a different genre. This show is just for those that like the superheroes, the ones that have the fantasy capes, the ones that have been around since Action Comics #1, 1938, that have been inspiring people like all these years to get into comics. Because no matter how many genres there are, and there is crime and horror and all that other stuff that everybody likes, I'm not saying that anything's better than whatever. I personally am just a huge superhero fan, and I decided that I wanted to share this show with people who are fans of superheroes, no matter who those superheroes may be or what company they may be from. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my guest tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Mr. Brian LCS and
Hello.
Mr. Up and Adam. How are you guys tonight?
Good.
Great.
Brian, what have you been up to lately? We usually see you in connection basically with the awards, but this is obviously not the award season. So what have you been keeping yourself busy with?
We do usually live Saturday mornings. We weren't live this past Saturday. I was actually out hunting some books, but usually we do a live on Saturday mornings and videos throughout the week. And then we are getting ready, starting to do some prep for the awards. So that'll be, as we get into the springtime, then we'll have some more information about that.
That'll be awesome. And Adam, what have you been up to lately? I understand you came here from another show, but what else have you been up to lately?
Recently got a new computer, so I've been trying to get that all squared away. Just put up a video today, so I'm doing weird books from my from my collection. So I'm calling it the My Light Zone. I have a little Rod Serling impression at the very beginning, but I did the one that I did today was about Captain Dingleberry. So make sure you turn into Captain Dingleberry. I know Matt's going to go tonight and try to find it on my comic shop. Ding, ding. But and drawing a lot. So I was on a Scribble show on SideQuest just a little bit ago. Working. I have a piece going out to Mr. McGroovy. It's not a big secret because he had something that he was trying to get me to work on. So that should be going out pretty soon. And then got a few more things in the works. So yeah.
Adam, you are certainly up there in one of the most generous people in the YouTube community, and I think that out there that you are so seriously undersubscribed is not funny, and I call it criminal. If you are out there and you are not subscribed to Up and Adam Comics, you really need to be. He's got the books he shows and the art he shows. He's got some knowledge behind it, and it's one of the reasons why I fell in love with this channel really early.
Oh, thanks so much, Matt. Appreciate it.
And with Brian here, everybody knows Brian for his, his volunteerism in putting together the awards ceremony that we all have every year with the comic broadcast community, comic book community awards.
Not right? Isn't there a Canadian award that's this?
Well, see, we have a station called the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, and that throws us off. Like a lot of us Canadians off when we talk about it. So, other than that, I find Brian has been a very likable character to watch on his live streams, especially, but also in his small videos. I haven't seen you put one out in a while, but I don't think. But I may have missed them in the algorithm,
I
but
think I had something last week. Yeah, I usually do at least one video a week, sometimes two. But yeah,
well, I'm going to have to check that because I mean, I had to miss your show yesterday because I had to be out of the house for a bit. But you know, that's the sad thing about weekends. And I don't know about you guys, but I spend my entire weekends on YouTube trying to catch up on everything I didn't watch during the week. So, all right. So tonight, which characters have you brought for us tonight, Brian?
it might be a surprise, but Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Oh, has he always been your favorite, or did he knock somebody else out over the years?
I was a big, as a kid and first getting introduced to superheroes was Batman. Used to watch the Adam West reruns, and Spider-Man. They were kind of my two favorites, but Spider-Man won out because I grew up in New York, and the fact that he was in Queens and New York City, there was that element of, oh, I could go see him. I could go into the city and see Spider-Man. I didn't know where Gotham City was. So that's kind of how Spider-Man won out over Batman.
Fair enough. Adam, who are you bringing to show tonight?
Well, Shirt's giving it away a little bit too, like Brian. So I'm bringing some Moon Knight to the table.
Awesome. I, of course, am wearing the T-shirt of one of my local comic shops, Nefarious Comics, so I didn't bring any Nefarious Comics per se to the table, but I did. But that's cool. So before we get started with showing books, let's take a moment to say hi to everybody who came with us, came to see us tonight. We've got Kay Munin first. Hi, Kay Munin. And we have Lewis from Second Floor Comics. Welcome. Well, Kay Munin has said a lot tonight. Jeff Jack is here. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Rob Saint is here. Hi, Rob.
Hey, Rob.
Lau is here. Hi, Lau. By the way, at the end of the show, we're going to be talking briefly about my plans for a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Lau is involved. I will just say that for now. And we've got Robbie Josephs. Hi, Robbie.
Robbie, brother.
Mark is here. Hi,
Hey,
Mark.
Mark.
Mark is someone whose channel also is getting like better and better every week. It just seems to be going. We've got Brian. And Raf's Retro Comics is here. Now, I want to take a second to talk about Raf. You think that I am good at putting the information out there. Well, Raf out there blows me out of the water. Just every video I watch of this guy, I'm thinking, why isn't this guy higher on the, like in the out there, well known? So if you're not subscribed to Raf, go out and do so. Thomas, good to see you. Another guy who I find that needs a little more, I don't want to use the phrase love per se, but let's go with love. He needs a little more love out there. He puts out some good stuff. You'd be surprised what he can find, and it's amazing.
Great collection. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got the comic collector Coach. Hi, Coach.
Doug.
And apparently, is Lois Lane a superhero? Asking for a friend. And Mikey D is here. Hi, Mike. And the answer, I think, is yes, Lois Lane is a superhero. I personally would say no, except for these recent issues where she has superpowers, but, she's definitely a super person. So Ben Compton is here. Hi, Ben.
Ben.
The wonderful, awesome, award-winning JSS Brooklyn is here. We have TN Comics Plus, Yo-Yo.
Yo-Yo.
Let's see here. We've got Kate is here. Hi, Kate. It's good to see you. Comic Mike is here. Hi, Mike. Mike is getting close. He's going to be at 500 subs before you know it. It's amazing. It's amazing how fast this channel's grown. Hi, Tan. Good to see you. Thank you, Hurricane, because I don't have all the bells and whistles. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel.
Give me some money.
I had that, but you know what? I can't play it anymore. That was a good clip,
Yeah.
Chonko's here. Hi, Chonko.
Hey, Mike.
Mike. We've got Outer Worlds Comics is here. Hi.
Jeff, how's it going?
Raphael, the Turtle Collector. Hi, Raph.
Raph is the best, yes.
And we have Wellbore tonight.
Oh,
Thank you all for coming. So, which one of you would like to go first?
I'm playing up Brian.
Well, then we'll let Brian go. We'll start the new show with Spider-Man comics.
Okay. Let's see. The first one we're going to show you is Mr. McFarlane.
Very nice.
And when I collected in the 80s, when his art came out, it was like a game changer for me because there were some great artists, but his style was just something a little bit different and a little bit, something we really hadn't seen before with Spider-Man, I felt like. And I really, really enjoyed his artwork and his run on Amazing Spider-Man, obviously with Venom, and that was pretty good.
Brian, is that gold one the most desired one? I'm trying to remember. They had all the different colors like silver and
yeah. I think this may have been. I think this was a second print, and so I think it was very limited. The gold. I think the silver. There was the regular A cover, and then the silver cover. But for some reason, I think when I scanned this in my CLZ app that it came up as a second print, which I didn't even realize there was. And so my guess is that's probably a lot less copies than of, the A cover for, the first print. So this was, so I brought actually 2 copies of this. This is Web of Spider-Man #1. This I actually had signed by Charles Vess, the cover artist, at cool. Heroes Con this past year. And it was funny when I was chatting with him. He's like, "Oh, that's the no chin cover," because the way
it does kind of look like it.
Yeah, the way Spider-Man is, is positioned against the black costume, he basically didn't, draw a chin line on Spidey, and he was, joking about that, laughing about it. So it was a funny little story with Vess, Charles Vess.
He was the first creator I ever met, and first book I ever got signed was that one.
Yeah, just very nice guy. No, he didn't charge. Was like donation for the Heroes Initiative if you wanted books signed, which I thought was really, really good. Now, where did I put it? I have a slab. So I have Web of Spider-Man was a book I bought off the rack when I was a kid. Probably most likely at my local 7-Eleven. So this is my copy that I had and read and eventually got.
It's amazing. So, did you get it cleaned and pressed first? Because
no.
Because if it was a 9.4 after all these years, the moves you've made and all that other stuff, a 9.4 is amazing.
Yeah, no, and because this was like I think the first batch of books that I sent to be graded, and I really wasn't knowledgeable about cleaning and pressing, and I just sent it in. I actually had 2 copies. The other copy came back a 9.0, but still, this was probably in a brown paper bag, and on my handlebars, between my handlebar and my hand as I drove back from the 7-Eleven on my bicycle. So yeah, I was pretty excited not having it cleaned and pressed and having it come back that kind of grade. So and we have Dope, right? We've got Dope hanging out with us.
Yep.
And so this is my lowest number Spidey, Amazing Spider-Man, and this was an AOK from Mr. Dope Comics.
Wow.
Very cool.
There's a generous person too. We got lots of generous people in this chat today.
Dope is Dope, Robbie, Stevie D, they all Bjorn, if Bjorn was still around, would all be in that category.
Yeah, just he's like, "Hey, I'm sending you something." I said, "Okay." No idea what it was, and it shows up, and I'm like, "All right, wait a minute. This box, looks like it's probably a slab." And then out, like I said, out comes my lowest number ASM, ASM 6. First,
Hang on, Brian, for just a second. We've had a super chat. A little bling to Chris in the snow. Good luck, Matt. Thank you, Raphael, the turtle collector. There we go.
Thank you.
I'd sing the other one, but no one needs that.
So yeah, just incredibly generous. And that's probably my third AOK that I've received from Dope. A couple years ago, my wife and I went to Sleepy Hollow for Halloween, and he sent me the first Headless Horseman in a Marvel book just out of nowhere. We exchanged some stuff at Heroes Con last year. So just
Sleepy
and
Hollow.
that's not, he sent out other ASM books to other people in the community. So pretty, very generous on Dope's part.
Sleepy Hollow is in New England, right?
No, New York.
New York.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. So let me rephrase that.
Right.
It is close to the Canadian border.
Yes.
Yes.
It's probably about an hour and a half outside of New York City.
Cool.
So, okay. Another one of my favorite ASM
love that cover.
Just Doc Ock being one of my favorite villains, and then having the Spidey, the reflection in his glasses.
Who did the sketch behind you? You have this sketch that's the cover.
Yeah. So this is, where is it? It's over. It's over
right
here.
over here. Yeah.
So Izzyverse NYC did.
Awesome.
Did the sketch.
Nice.
So yeah, having him kind of.
Oh, that's great. Is that you in the glasses? I take it.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
He's got me in the Spidey suit.
Very cool.
Yeah, I love that cover.
Really, and now I'm going to show you my favorite Spider-Man cover, and then one of my least favorite, which Chunko hopefully is still here because he'll get a kick out of it.
Oh.
But this is my favorite, ASM 39.
Nice. And that's the first Romita, right?
First Romita cover, but just Green Goblin again being one of my favorites, but I think one of Spider-Man's most notorious villains. And this is just a great cover.
It is.
And I know the next book is a lot of people's favorites. For me, it's just there's not a lot of detail in this compared to some of the other covers. So this is one of my least favorite Spider-Man covers, although, it's first Kingpin. There's no Kingpin on the cover, but I know it's the whole Spider-Man giving up and walking away from being, Peter Parker walking away from being Spider-Man. But I don't know. I thought the cover could be just a little bit more detail. Like we've seen it on the big screen. We've seen it, obviously on the internal panels, it's a little bit different with the Spidey costume in the garbage can, but I just don't think this cover captures that moment as well as it could have been. There may be some more detail.
Well, I'm kicking myself now. Ottawa Comic Con last year had Vincent D'Onofrio as a guest, and I completely blanked on it. By the time I remember it was time to go over, the thing was over. The panel was over. So,
Team Up, Marvel Team Up. This was, for me, this was a great series to collect and read because I got my Spider-Man fix, but then also got to learn about some other character, in the Marvel universe. So Team Up was always fun to read, and this is a run that I recently completed.
Very cool.
I have all 150 issues. So
were there a lot of
one of
annuals?
those fun ones to read?
Now, Mike, I have a question about the series. Was every single book a Spider-Man book, or were there a couple that didn't have Spider-Man in it?
There are a couple. I think Human Torch had like 6 or 7 appearances. So he was the main character, and Spider-Man wasn't in it. Human Torch teamed up with somebody else, and I think there's maybe 3 issues of the Hulk teaming up with somebody else.
Cool.
Yeah,
It's
so little,
it's because the Thing had all 100 of his, so I was curious.
oh yeah, right. 2-in-1, right? Is
Two
all
in one, yeah.
Thing and somebody else. Let's see. All right, I'll show you. I'm a although Peter Parker's my guy. I do like Miles.
That's
I
great.
think he's a character that I think Marvel needs to kind of embrace a little bit more and stop with the Peter Parker still being, can't pay the rent, can't hold down the job, and still hasn't learned anything after being Spider-Man for so long. Like, I think we need to let Miles kind of be the teenager trying to figure it out and let Peter have a little bit more success. So I'm hoping that Marvel is going to do that at some point, is really kind of let Miles kind of, be that for the younger audience, and let Peter have a little bit more maturity, more success in his life.
Well, I think that the guy's been around for 60 some years now. I think it's time to let him have a good time.
Right. Yeah, I think he would have. He's kind of. I would think he would figure some things out by now. And I meant to pull it, and I didn't. Ultimate Spider-Man. That was one of my favorite Spider-Man storylines that I've read over the last 5 or 6 years, because it was really of an older Peter Parker. He's married, he's got kids, and I think that's kind of where Amazing Spider-Man needs to be with Peter Parker. But maybe that's just because I'm getting older and I've read Spider-Man for so long.
Now, I have another question for you. Batman, of course, is well known for the amount of different villains he's fought over the years, and he has a lot. And I would say that Peter Parker probably has just as many. Now, you already mentioned that Dr. Octopus was one of your favorite villains. If you were to pick two other ones, who would you say are his best villains?
Definitely Green Goblin, right? Norman Osborn, just the craziness and that he's introduced to Peter's life, Spider-Man's life. And I'd probably have to go with, initially, I think Venom, right? The symbiote suit, but it's really gotten, similar to all of the Spider-Verse and all of the other Spider characters. It's kind of gotten diluted. And so I think with Venom and now Carnage and all the different symbiotes, that's kind of really got diluted. So it would probably have to be one of the other, Mysterio, one of the Sinister Six, or one of his classic villains. But I think they're kind of, for me, Doc Ock and Norman stand out, Green Goblin. And then you kind of have, Lizard, Vulture, Kraven, maybe Kraven's Last Hunt storyline really kind of put Kraven on the map. So, but it's really the, some of the original, villains in Spider-Man.
That is a question. The reason I asked this question is that is a question that almost everybody has. They almost have the same two for the first two, Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus, but then the number of different answers I hear for number 3 is amazing.
Yeah.
I've had
I think we're gonna see Scorpion on the big screen in the upcoming movie. So he could now start to be on everybody's list. But now I pulled this, and the reason why I want to show a non-Spider-Man book is because Star Wars was kind of my Toy Story moment. I was a big superhero fan. Spider-Man, Batman. And then when Star Wars came out, it was like the superheroes were on the back burner, and I was into sci-fi. So it was like, leaving Woody and hanging out with Buzz now. It was definitely a Toy Story moment for me. And then, like, as a kid, all of my toys changed. I had all of the Mego action figures and things like that, and they all went aside. They went in storage and got replaced by all the Star Wars toys.
Very cool.
So, and this is,
I would agree with you. Like, I got to see I was reading comic. Now, granted, like, my age was really young. I was 5 years old when I read my first comic book. I was going on 6, and so it'd be around the same time when Star Wars came out. I got to go see it at the drive-in with my parents.
Oh wow.
So that was really cool. And then, in 78, my dad took me to the Superman movie.
Okay.
And all those, I was so young, but they've so defined my life, so I can completely understand where that's coming from. Just you can flip in a heartbeat, because Star Wars was everything. And then Superman was on the big screen, and I was Superman again
Yeah.
for a bit. So,
But yeah, that's what I brought with me tonight.
awesome. Adam, you ready?
I am ready.
All right.
Let me.
So let us move on over to Adam with who's going to show us Moon Knight tonight. What's going on there? You all right?
Yeah, videos doing some weird buttons are doing weird things. So, yeah, I brought a lot of stuff, so I'll try to fly through it pretty quickly. And I brought some books and also brought some art pieces that I have. So, I'll probably start more just like a little chronologically. So can't start without a Werewolf by Night 32.
That is true.
Yep. So this is the first appearance of Moon Knight. Doug Minch and Don Perlin doing the art on the interior. And so this is also probably the best deal that I've ever gotten on a comic, which we'll be working on a show with Paul, Mr. McGroovy, Robbie Josephs, and I. We're going to talk about some of that. So stay tuned. I'll give more of a story about that. And then from 32, there was also a few other appearances. 33 was the next one. And then 37, which 37, it's actually not really Moon Knight, but, they like to throw those like robots and things like that into things. But the first solo story was actually in Marvel Spotlight, number 28.
So he's only 4 issues after Son of Satan left the book then.
Yeah,
That's cool.
exactly. Yeah. So he had just like 2 issues, 28 and 29. This was a really good story. And then there's a switch. So after that was done, there wasn't really anything done with the character for a little bit. So he jumped into Hulk magazine. And so Hulk magazine, he's kind of the backup story. It's still Doug Minch, but it's also Gene Colan doing art on the book. So this was, some of the Hulk magazines are black and white, but this has, this is full color. It's in full color, Marvel's TV smash. And then he kind of was in a few, probably like 6 or 7 different issues of Hulk. And this one's important. This is number 13. But the reason that this one is important is it is a lot of people associate with Moon Knight Bill Sienkiewicz. And this is the first Bill Sienkiewicz work. And what a great picture. A lot of people have seen this for Moon Knight. It's got all of his weapons in there. But that was a really cool one. And then he jumped into his regular series. And so with this first issue, this is Moon Knight number 1. And I actually got Bill Sienkiewicz did a remark on it. And that's a signature across there. But Bill Sienkiewicz did this one. This is kind of more like the origin of Moon Knight and starts the first appearance of Bushman, which is probably his biggest villain. And also I love this cover too, because it also shows all of his other identities. Yes. So one thing that was kind of weird about Moon Knight is when, he kind of first started, they always said like he's a schizophrenic. He has these different personalities. But that wasn't really played out very well in terms of psychological perspective. So he would be like Stephen Grant, the millionaire. And then he's like, I'm going to put on a cap and now I'm going to be Jake Lockley, the cab driver, to do these kind of things. And it wasn't really a good synopsis of dealing with like a real mental disorder. But that's kind of, this started that series. It was an amazing series.
Just before you put that one away.
Yeah.
you bought that long before the speculation, before the I'm assuming before when the TV show came out and that book shot up through the roof. I'm hoping
yeah.
it didn't, yeah, because I mean it's fallen pretty much almost back to its old levels, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the things, popped up pretty high, especially like first Moon Knight. A lot of Moon Knight hype was done, but I've been a fan for, since I first discovered him. I can't think of, I know it may have been from this issue that when I didn't pick it up new, but, go into a comic shop and I found Moon Knight was one of those books in Marvel that eventually became just like a direct market book. So when I went to my first comic shop, I had heard about Moon Knight and some of these other like Marvel fanfare and some of the like Teen Titans and stuff like that I couldn't get. And so I went back and I got this Moon Knight one. And so, yeah, I've kind of been a fan of him ever since, but yeah. And then this one, so then it became, after that series, there's a lot of volumes, everything's got tons of volumes. But then they started a Mark Spector Moon Knight, and this is just such an amazing cover. It's Stephen Platt. I got Stephen to sign that one here.
See, that's the series I'm most familiar with in that, because that's the one that came out in the 90s, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's kind of focused more on his like military career, especially early on. And so but yeah, Stephen Platt did some absolutely amazing covers for this. And it's kind of interesting. Stephen Platt kind of went, he did this and then he did some indie stuff and fell way behind with getting stuff done. So he kind of got blacklisted for a while in the whole industry, but he's back. He's back. He started to do some cons and stuff, but amazing detailed work on that. One of my favorite series just for the art is this volume of Moon Knight with David Finch, and David Finch signed that. Just astounding art. David Finch really likes Moon Knight. So this is like a lot of Moon Knight series are short because they start off strong and then just not enough people were getting into them. I think now he's seeing a little bit more of a success, maybe a little bit from the show, or people want to jump on and learn a little bit more about him. But this run had great stories, amazing art. If I were to recommend, like, other than the Moon Knight Volume 1, I'd probably recommend this to pick up just to, get a full story. But one of the things that has really changed about Moon Knight is they've started to go deeper into probably the true psychology of having the split personalities and things like that. And Jeff Lemire had a great run on this. I'm showing a lot of the signed stuff I have. This Jeff Lemire signed this one. But as you can see, he's like kind of insane in an insane asylum here. And a lot of what takes place is in his head. And so really cool one. Another David Finch, this was kind of like a...
no, I really like this cover.
Yeah, this was I can't remember it was one of those like 1 in 50, 1 in 75, 1 in 200. I can't remember. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite covers too. David Finch just kills it. Another artist that I also really like is Eric Gist, E.M. Gist. A lot of people know him for that. And he absolutely loves Moon Knight. So whenever he gets to do a Moon Knight cover, he kind of goes crazy with this. And so he did that one.
Another nice one.
Also signed. Okay, this one kind of has a funny story. So this is they did like a black white Moon Knight, black white and blood, and I have a few different covers for that I'm going to show. But this one, this is Critch Bachalo, and he did a little remark on it. So I was wearing this shirt at a con and getting him to sign that, and he's like, "Where did you get that shirt? I have to have one of those shirts." So I actually I got a shirt ordered and sent it to him because it was like really hard to find. But yeah, and he's like, you'll see me wearing that at cons. So
one complaint I have about the conventions I go to is like Way too many pop dealers, not enough t-shirt dealers. If you're not going to have comics, do things like posters and t-shirts, because those things are the coolest.
They would. Another artist I really love, Jeff DeCall. And this was, he signed that one. Just really cool red cover. And then Bjorn Berens. This was an exclusive, really cool cover. I bought this from his table. So he signed that one here. And another EM Gist cover. This was a number 0 that shops got really shorted on. And so, but I was lucky enough to get like one of the 2 in our shop that we had.
Wow.
And then quickly, I wanted to just show
buddies.
What's that?
You must be good buddies if you.
I help a lot at the shop, so it's he's like, okay, I know I'm getting you one, but let's see who else. So I'm going to show just really quickly a few little art pieces. This is Dustin Nguyen. Did a little Moon Knight head sketch for me.
Very cool.
And another artist that does some amazing work. He mostly does his self-published stuff, but Cameron Johnson did this Moon Knight in the rain and lightning. Just really cool. All the little raindrops and everything. Kind of a mixed media cover. But yeah, love Cameron Johnson. But like 2 of probably the most special Moon Knight things that I have is I actually got Don Perlin, the first person to draw Moon Knight, did this for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so he's the original artist for Moon Knight. He passed away just a year or 2 ago. But I got this done probably like a year or 2 before he passed away. And he was, I think, 96 or something like that. So he was up there. So this is in his 90s, still doing that kind of work. Matt, I know you've probably seen Don Perlin in a lot of the Defenders stuff.
I have.
And he did Werewolf by Night, of course, for a while. But I was really excited to get that one. And then I
know how he got the Defenders job?
What's that?
Do you know how he got the Defenders job?
How's that?
No one else wanted it.
Oh, okay.
They asked him. He's like, "Why not? I could use the paycheck."
Sure. Yeah, that's a good reason. Yeah. So I bought this. This is a original piece of art, and it is from David Finch, and this is one of the last. He only had 2 pages that he still owned of his Moon Knight. So I bought this from him. And so it's nothing spectacular. There's not Moon Knight on it, but this is original David Finch work. And it is Mark Spector talking to Steve Rogers.
Nice.
And the panel that is missing here, I wish it was there. But this was a little statue of Khonshu was in this, but this is Moon Knight from issue number 8, and it's page number 3. So I thought it was cool. Like, and it was pretty cheap. It's cheaper than getting a sketch from David Finch, and this has a ton of drawings on that. Yeah, this is the actual published page from issue 8, page number 3. So from the Moon Knight cool. David Finch run.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So that's a lot. That's my Moon Knight stuff.
Well, we won't be too long, but I'm going to go ahead and show some stuff that I pulled to celebrate the new thing. Guess who it is? It's not a Superman related book at all. No, I decided to go with Batman.
Ooh, awesome.
This, of course, is Batman 189, the first Scarecrow in the Silver Age.
Amazing. That's great.
I got this for a swan song. I got this for $50 Canadian. And it's a mid-grade. And a couple of these Batman 100 spectaculars. This is $255.
Is that Neil Adams working on that one, or is that after that point?
Actually, most of the covers at this time were done by various people. I'm not sure. I know this isn't this. Actually, this one might be Neil Adams. It does have a bit of his.
It kind of looks like it.
Yeah, Batman looks like a Neil Adams, right?
Exactly, but the stuff on the side are done by other people because they're all reprints. So they just.
I just looked it up. Yeah, Neil Adams and Nick Cardy did some of the other
Yeah,
stuff.
Nick Cardy did a lot of the side ones because like
Yeah.
they reprinted the first appearance of Alfred, the first appearance of the Batman's father's costume. It was a big deal in the Golden Age. Here's Batman 256. Catwoman in that terrible 70s costume.
Oh, he's getting
What
crushed by
I like about these stories still, like these $100 page spectaculars, you get a new story for the time, but they also would reprint 3 or 4 stories from the old ages, and that's one of the reasons. This is how I used to fall in love with Golden Age superhero stories, was they would reprint them, you know. And this one here is Batman 264, Death of a Daredevil.
it's in the height of Evil Knievel times, isn't it?
It really is. 25 cents would put it at 1975, 76. And that was right in the middle of Evil. Even I knew who Evil Knievel was as a kid. So now we've got this one, Catwoman in a more appropriate outfit. This is Batman 266. You know,
Awesome.
Catwoman's back in her original outfit. It's funny because Catwoman tried 2 outfits. Like she came back in the Lois Lane book in the 60s, right? And she was wearing her original costume, and then she wore something green, and then some that got absolutely gaudy.
What's your favorite Catwoman costume?
Honestly, I like the original.
Okay.
It's just something about it, you know. Not the greatest, but it's purple and hides at night. This is 268. By the way, I'm showing off my oldest Batman books. I have older Detective. This is 269.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's got everything you need. Weapons and a woman.
Now, is Batman putting her in front of him, or what is going on?
I don't know. But this is a real cool one. This is Batman 274, and he's actually fighting someone who is like an uber strong athlete from India.
Oh, yeah.
Like this is the criminal Olympics that's going on in here. And it's kind of hilarious. It's such a weird story idea that it kept going. And this is number 280. I've got 2 more, and then we'll
Very cool.
I'm just breaking in to show people that I own things that other than Superman and the Ferret. 283. I like this one because the mist cover, like there's a character who's good at camouflaging, as you can see here, and that is part of it. And it doesn't matter what color it is or whatever. He's just pretty awesome that way. And here is Batman 293, the famous Jim Aparo cover of Luthor beating the crap out of Batman and Superman at the same time.
Yeah,
this is an infamous book. So
that's great.
So before we head out, I want to say thank you guys very much for coming out and being a part of the initial debut show of the Sunday Superhero Show. This is a show that I'm going to sit there. Second floor. I seem to like the costumes they painted on Anne Hathaway. Hi, Phil.
Valid point.
But basically, what I like about it is I want people to come on, show some of their favorite books from some of their favorite heroes, and everybody just have fun. This isn't going to be we're dedicated to this, and we're going to. This is a come on, show the books. Be that inner child again. That's what I'm looking for with this. And I'm hoping that my future guests and all that will be able to be, we'll do the same thing. That you're going to come on and show stuff. The next episode of this show in 2 weeks' time, we'll have Uncanny Derek and Robbie Josephs coming on to show some of their favorite superhero books. As there's not going to be a Tuesday show this week because my son is in a talent show that night, so therefore that I will be there, and I would, as much as I love you guys, I love my son more. As they say, I will go watch him be talented. So I'm going to say a few things that I would normally do on the Tuesday show. One, I am already planning the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. It's going to be a big one. There's going to be 5 prizes when that happens. 3 of them will be original art. Specifically, the 3 original art are going to be picked by the winners. They're going to pick the character that person does, and we're going to do that. I have already wrapped up Lau Tor. He's going to do one piece. I've asked him, and Sammy Francis is going to do a second piece, and I'm waffling between 3 who have offered, and I'm trying to figure out who does the best superhero for the third piece. So we're going to do that. So anyways, that's coming up when we get to 1,000. We've still got a little way to go, but this is the kind of thing that requires planning. Secondly, starting in May, I am going to be doing bi-monthly member giveaways. So if you are a member of the channel, you will automatically be entered into these giveaways. I'm now up to 16 members thanks to Tan tonight. And if you are a member of the channel, not only do you get to see exclusive videos when I get around to making them, you get to dictate to me what you want me to make a video about. And we've had 4 or 5 members do that already. And you get other things like, as we go. But there will now be a giveaway every second month starting at the end of May. So if you feel like you'd like to get into free comic, well, pretty much free comics, just sign up, become a member. It's only $3 a month if you wish. And even, but again, I'm not, out here soliciting to get members. I am giving people an opportunity to win books, is the way I see it, because basically all the membership money is going to go into the prizes. So, all right. Thank you all for coming tonight. I want to thank Brian. I want to thank Adam. I really had a lot of fun tonight. And I hope everybody out there who watches the replay had as much fun watching it as I did doing it. My name's Matt. I like comics, and I hope you do too. Bye, everybody.
Bye.